Alright guys, so I'm back. Sorry about that little break right there. Like I said, if you're having a problem with the chisel, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but this bevel here, if you're having problems with it, I don't know if y'all can see it very clearly, but when you're chiseling like this, I don't know about y'all, but being that I'm just starting off my first project I started today, I have a little bit of problems because I'm not really I'm not the best carpenter by any means. Not very comfortable doing it like this. One thing is, you want to find which way the grain is running, because when you if your grain is running like this and you're coming back this way, when you apply the pressure for the chisel, it's going to pull up layers. Essentially, wood is a bunch of fibers together. So when you're doing it, if you don't want to run this way against the fibers, because then it'll start taking chunks out. So you want to go this way. You want to run the same direction as the fibers, so that when you're chiseling, it's not pulling up chunks. It's going to stay smooth, and the wood should start to curl. Let's see what we can do here. So this way, I've already been messing with the wood. I know which way the grain is running. This way, like this, takes out bigger chunks than what I want. See, I can't really get it with the bevel up of the chisel facing up. So I'll flip it over. It makes it easier for me, especially being that I'm just starting off. So if you're just starting off, before you start doing anything major, make sure you find out which way the grain of the wood is running, so that you don't take out bigger chunks of what you want. Now, there's guys out there, professionals, that have been doing this for a lot of years. They still make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Stick to it. Don't quit. If this is something you like doing, by all means, please stick to it. So let's see what we can do. So right now I've got the bevel down. That seems to work out better for me. And it's curling the wood a little bit, which is what you want. Tends to work out nicely that way. For me, so far, from what I've seen. I'm kind of all over the place. Just where I see needs to go a little bit lower, which initially the whole thing on this side needs to go lower because I got this side down to where I need it. Like I said, once this is in there, it's going to sit flush like that. So it'll be flush, nothing's going to hit it and get stuck, hopefully. Right here in the middle is going to be a little tricky because I don't have a very big gap to work with, but we'll see what we can do. Notice as well the placement of my hands. My right hand is actually pushing the chisel forward, while at the same time my left hand is pushing the chisel back. The purpose of this is so that when you're pushing the chisel forward, if you've only got one hand on it, if you take out the chunk needed and you don't have any resistance, you're going to slip forward, you're going to hit your edge. I don't know if you can zoom in on that right there. But I actually happened to do that today. Let me see if I can get a little bit better lighting here. Sorry guys, I'm over here dropping everything. I don't have the best workshop right now either, but it's a work in progress. Good supporting family. Kids love being out here when I'm doing this. Alright, so I don't know if y'all can see that little chunk right there. Can you get a good picture of that? Okay. That actually happened while I was chiseling and I didn't apply enough back pressure with my left hand. And I took out that little bitty chunk right there, which is not something you want to do. But for what this is, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, it's just going to be a platform. for the inverted jigsaw. So let's see what we can do. And of course, like I said, I like to whistle while I work, so you're gonna hear my music. So if you'll see, even though I'm going against the curve, I'm being really careful. Trying to get the wood to curl properly is a big, important step, I think, because it lets you know that you're applying enough pressure, you're getting just enough taken off that you're going to go ahead and take down the material that you're trying to get rid of. You just got to play with it and see what works best for you. Come on this side. Alright, so on this side, guys, I had my camera operator switch so that you can see how it curls when you go with the grain. This way, I was going against the grain, which sometimes you're going to have to. But on this side, you know, I had my camera operator come to the other side. Big round of applause to my mother. This way, I'm going with the grain, so you'll see it curl better. Just remember to have that backup hand pushing against the chisel hand so that if the chisel slips, you're not taking out chunks of anything else. To me, the wood just curls better. And it just looks nicer. See, there we go, I missed. But luckily I didn't take out any excess chunks. So, I don't know if y'all can see that too well. My camera operator is pretty good, but my camera itself is not the best at the moment. For this woman, man, I should have seen it coming. But I stick my penis up in. Wouldn't rip the green up if I'd have seen what she was talking. But fuck it, it's open. There's no more reason to cry no more. I got my baby, the only lady that I adore, Haley. So sayonara, try tomorrow, nice to know ya. My baby's trapped. Make sure you try to keep your wood scraps out of where you're working, just to kind of help out a little bit. Now once you get to this point, it's kind of hard to tell because I've already got a major relief cut here. I used a cutting disc on my grinder to make this cut here, just to allow this side of it. I don't know if you can really see it, but the jigsaw's got that little lip right there all the way on three sides. What is going to happen is going to be inverted, like I said, and it's going to sit down in the wood. So that's why I put those three cuts around here. It's going to be about a 1/4 inch deep. You do it how you want, whatever works best for you. But once you get to this edge here, and you're curling and you hit the edge, if the wood chip does not come out immediately, do not take it and pry up, because you run the risk of chipping this edge here. So what you'll do is you'll take with your bevel end towards the scrap that you're cutting out, right along the edge, and you'll do a little bit more of a relief cut. That way, when you do chip, it comes off easily. Like I said, if you don't do that, then you run the risk of prying up and chipping this outside edge here of the part of the wood that you're gonna keep. So don't forget to put your relief cuts. Major step right there. Feel like I'm conducting surgery here. Nevada Health Link, connecting you to health insurance. Another good tip when you're chiseling and you got your bevel up and you start cutting on the wood, it will have a tendency sometimes to bury deeper. You don't want that, because you want to take out a little bit at a time. You don't want to take out a lot. So when you're doing it, another reason I have it flipped over is so that when you're chipping, you can actually rock up and out of the wood and save the wood without getting a tremendously huge gouge in it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go along this edge and put my relief cut, just so that when I get to that point, it's got that little bit of give so that I can chip out the wood needed without really messing anything up. Like I said, this is my first official project on YouTube. So just bear with me a little bit and we'll get through this. Another reason I'm going this way, once again, it's with the grain. It just tends to chip off easier. It's neater looking once it's cleaned up. I don't have really too many concerns. Once again, you just got to figure out which way the wood is running, which way you got to take it, which way you got to take it down. I apologize, guys. I told you wrong. I'm actually going against the grain right now. If you'll zoom in, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right? If you'll look right here, it looks real choppy. That right there, I'm going against the grain. So I'm going to have to switch back to the other side. Get my light a little bit better here. There we go. You see? Now there it's cleaning up, curling better. That piece there chipped off earlier and I was trying to save it, but didn't look like it was going to happen, so let's go ahead and take it off and eliminate that hazard. Oh, another major issue, guys, whenever you're going to do your relief cuts, you want your bevel to face the scrap. I don't know if I said that earlier. I think I did, but just in case I didn't, I'll say it again. You want this bevel going towards the scrap because it applies that pressure that I was talking about. So you want it to go towards the scrap rather than towards the good wood. You just want to take a little at a time. Haste makes waste, so take your time. Measure twice, cut once, you know, that type of thing. You want to try and get it as best as you can, especially if you're putting it out there in public. It's going to have your name on it, so do the best you can. And if any of you, there we go again, that one same piece. If any of you are as meticulous as I am, I hate my shit not being perfect. So, like I said, do your best. Take your time. See, there's a perfect example of my relief cut not being down far enough. So then that's when you would go and take the flat edge towards the good side, make that relief cut, and then get that scrap out of there. Also, when you're doing this, guys, number one rule, safety, safety, safety. I was actually using a saw the other day, cut my finger almost to the bone. Should have went and got stitches, but I didn't. But, you know, it is what it is. If you're using a belt sander, make sure you got a mask. Any type of machinery, make sure you have your hearing protection. Try and save your hearing at as much as possible. That plays a big, important part of your role in life, especially when mom and dad are trying to call you and you decide you want to ignore them and have selective hearing. Do it all the time. Some of this is a little tricky, just a matter of getting used to your tools and knowing what you can do with them. Like I said, I'm barely starting off, so trying to be as careful as possible. Over time, you'll get to where you can get faster, get better. Alright, so it's looking better than what it was. Not the best, but we'll get there. Here I'm just kind of trimming up the edge. It's a little rough, but it's all a part of the process, guys. Like I said, it's going to be your name on it if you're putting it out in public. Make it the best you can. So I still got quite a way to go. Still a little lip there. You don't want that lip at all. But I'm going to do this opposite side first, get it down all the way, and then I'll actually pick the board up and check it before I take any more down on this side. Because you don't want to take too much and then it not be flush, and then you'd be mad at yourself for it. Nice little curls. I don't like going this way because it just is uncomfortable and it's not with the grain. It's going against the grain, but it's a part of it. Never pull towards yourself. because if that sucker slips and you're putting power behind it, it's going to stab you in the damn gut. Last thing you want to do is start hemorrhaging because you weren't being safe. So let me turn this board around and we'll go again. I like to try to keep my work area clean just because I'm kind of a neat freak. But once again, it is what it is. It ain't going like that. Should have known better. Right here, I'm not applying very much pressure, just enough to skim that side. Alright guys, let's see what that looks like. Well, the front side doesn't look too good, but it'll be alright. Alright, so I, a while back, actually needed something to hold my belt sander, so I decided to cut it out here on my table, and it's worked out beautifully. Well, still need a little bit more, but essentially it's gonna be like that. This bad boy is gonna sit right here, just like that. So once I actually get to that point, then I'll go in and right here on the back side of the saw itself, this piece here should be sitting a little bit lower than that. So I'll go in, I'll trim it up, and make it fit perfectly. Alright guys, so that's it for tonight. It's already 10:30 my time. Go inside, take a shower, and then be back at it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit like, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe.